Kiki and the Three-Story Kingdom. A fantastical tale of a kitten discovering her place in the world. Kiki was just 8 weeks old when everything changed. She was a tabby kitten, with fur the color of golden honey, swirled with streaks of smoky brown. Her paws were tiny, her whiskers twitchy, and her wide eyes always filled with questions. Kiki had only just begun to understand her world, how the sun moved across the floor, how her sister Luna always won their tumble matches, how warm it felt to curl into a soft pile of blankets and drift to sleep, with familiar smells all around. Then, one morning, the world shifted. It began with a rustle, then hands, gentle but strange, scooped her up, along with Luna, and placed them in a small, soft box. The box had a cover with holes and a handle that swung gently with each step. Kiki meowed once, a quiet little question that nobody answered. The box moved. It hummed and vibrated. Everything outside the holes was blurry and loud. Kiki pressed herself against Luna's side, uncertain. Luna, as usual, acted unbothered, always the confident one. But Kiki kept her eyes wide open. After what felt like forever, the humming stopped. The air changed. The box was lifted and carried upstairs, then opened into a new world. Kiki peeked out. It was a house. No, more than a house, a castle. It had 3 levels, each one filled with unknowns. Windows let in long rivers of light. Stairs curled up and around like the tail of a sleeping beast. There were plants, rugs, shelves, and tall creatures standing there with warm eyes and open hands. The humans. Kiki blinked up at them, then backed up a step. She didn't understand. Where were the old smells? Where was the blanket nest? Where was the warm lap she liked to nap on? And most importantly, was this home? She didn't think so. The first day. The humans seemed kind enough. One had a gentle voice, and the other had a laugh like wind chimes. They moved slowly around the kittens, sitting on the floor and letting their hands rest nearby, never forcing a touch. Still, Kiki was unsure. She stayed low, creeping behind a leg of the couch, watching everything. The first floor was cool and quiet, filled with leafy green plants and interesting shadows. Kiki decided to call this the Whispering Woods. She crouched behind a tall fern and listened to the rustle of air, the creak of floorboards, the occasional chirp from a window. Luna, of course, was already darting under chairs and sniffing the baseboards. She wasn't scared. She never was. Kiki followed, but carefully. Every step was a test. Every corner was a mystery. There were soft beds scattered around like little nests. There were bowls of food that smelled familiar, and toys, so many toys, lying in wait, tails and feathers twitching ever so slightly in the breeze from the vent. But still, Kiki wasn't ready to call it home. Not yet. The Sunlit Realm. On the second day, Kiki discovered the second floor. The humans led her and Luna up a broad staircase, and what they found there made Kiki pause in awe. Windows! Big, bright windows where the sun came pouring in like liquid gold, a couch that looked like a cloud, blankets draped and folded like secret passageways, pillows like soft mountains to climb. This place, Kiki decided, would be called the Great Hall of Sunbeams. Kiki tiptoed through patches of light and discovered that when she sat just right, The sunlight warmed her back perfectly. She closed her eyes and let her tail curl delicately around her feet. This was better. Still strange, but not bad. One of the humans sat on the floor again, near the sunlight, holding a little feather toy on a stick. Kiki eyed it suspiciously. It twitched. She waited. It twitched again, then pounce. She caught it under both front paws, wide-eyed with triumph. The human laughed softly, not loud or scary, just a gentle ripple of joy. Kiki felt something stir in her chest, not fear, not quite comfort, something new, something beginning. The Sky Tower. By the end of the week, Kiki had discovered the 3rd floor. This was a quiet realm, soft with rugs and pillows, filled with the scent of laundry, bedtime, and safety. The humans slept here. Their quiet breath at night filled the space like ocean waves. Kiki and Luna would tiptoe in while the humans were still asleep and curl up at the foot of the bed or tuck themselves into a corner of the blanket mound. She called this place the Sky Tower. It felt far from everything, high and secret, like a perch where you could see the world. But still, despite the comfort and the softness and the humans' gentle voices, Kiki wasn't sure if she belonged here. She'd wake up some mornings and forget where she was. She'd search the corners for familiar scents and feel a pang of longing in her tiny kitten heart. Was this really my home? She'd wonder. The Turning Point. One rainy afternoon, Kiki sat on the staircase between the 2nd and 3rd floor, halfway between sunbeams and sky. She was alone for the moment. Luna was off somewhere, wrestling with a ball of crinkle paper. The humans were drinking warm-smelling drinks in the kitchen. Kiki stared down at the floor below. The whole house, the entire kingdom, felt vast and quiet. Suddenly, a soft sound behind her. One of the humans had come up and now sat on the step just above her, not reaching, not speaking, just sitting. Kiki looked up, blinking. The human slowly held out a hand, palm up, not too close. An offering. An invitation. Kiki didn't move at first. Her tail flicked once. Then she leaned forward and gently, very gently, pressed her forehead into that open palm. It was warm, steady. A quiet kind of magic pulsed through her. The human whispered, "You're home now, little one." Something inside Kiki settled, like a tiny string that had been pulled tight, was finally released. This was her home. The house, the 3-story kingdom, was hers now. Not just a place she'd been taken to, a place where she belonged. The Queen of the Kingdom. After that moment, something changed in Kiki. She walked with more confidence. She sat boldly in the middle of the couch. She chirped when she wanted attention. She tackled Luna with joyful squeals. She even climbed all the way to the top of a bookcase just to see what the air felt like up there. She had mapped every hallway, sniffed every corner, curled into every soft nook. The house was still full of secrets, strange shadows under cabinets, mysterious jingles in the walls, birds that fluttered just out of reach behind glass. But now, those things weren't scary. They were simply parts of her new domain. Kiki was no longer a visitor. She was a resident, a ruler, a queen in training. And with Luna by her side and 2 devoted humans doting on her every twitch and meow, she was ready for whatever adventures the 3-story kingdom would bring next. After all, Kiki was small, but mighty. And her story was only just beginning. The end. Or just the beginning.